Hello? Can you hear me? You can't hear me?
I can hear you. Not in.
Such a good start. I know you don't have headphones, but you don't need them, right?
Okay. No.
Because I need them to make sure that the audio sounds good.
Okay.
But I am 2 feet away from you. Sometimes you got to give the people what they want. Right?
Okay.
Okay. So Dr. Maria came by today. She had some patients. And I'm like, let's do a podcast. And she said, absolutely. I would love nothing more than that. Correct? No, she doesn't like those stuff.
It's all good.
It's all good in the hood. So they were like, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, well, let's talk about what we just finished talking about off camera, which was food sensitivity and weight loss.
Yes. So success I'm seeing, especially in female. Why are you laughing?
You went from I don't want to talk about it to the middle of the story. Okay. So I'm sorry to interrupt. Why don't you take that from the top?
So successful results I'm seeing with female population, especially struggling with weight gain or struggling to lose weight.
So you have some weight loss success. How?
So, I mean, it's always complete lifestyle and I address all factors. But when I test the patient's IgG food sensitivities, we can clearly identify their unique, one-of-a-kind meal plan that would work for their body and their blood at that point in time. And we can see any foods that are triggering an inflammatory reaction, which then we avoid. And without trying, within a week or two, they're able to lose 5 to 10 pounds easily because inflammation is no longer high, which triggers cortisol. If cortisol is high, your appetite for high calorie foods is increased and fat storage is promoted.
Yeah. So when they cut out their sensitive foods, then what happens? So their cortisol goes down.
Their body's no longer in a high stress state. So their body is better able to manage the day-to-day, but doesn't have to stay in that chronically inflamed, store fat because I don't know what's happening here. Maybe we're in a famine. They're able to manage everything day-to-day better.
Yeah. Okay. Immune complexes are down, less circulating inflammatory markers, less water retention.
And then, of course, there's symptoms. They can come in with migraines, frequent infections, bloating, digestive upset, skin rashes, eczema. All of that is clear. They can come in with yeast concerns. So all of that is eradicated. But in the meantime, a side effect of avoiding these foods is weight loss.
Yeah.
Without trying.
Well, that excess weight is probably just fluid and stuff. And maybe throwing off their appetite.
Yes.
Probably craving carbs more.
Yes. High calorie foods. Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's fairly easy. I simply see the patient. They're given a requisition. They have a blood draw done at a local lab. Test results take 2 weeks. And then I review it with them. Very straightforward, but very, very, very effective. I had a patient this morning who lost 9 pounds in 2 weeks without trying, without even starting an exercise plan, just from avoiding her reactive foods based on this test.
People don't realize that losing weight does not mean calorie cutting.
Not at all that simple, no.
Not that simple. It's the contrary. I usually get my patients to increase their calories, especially early in the day. So do you.
So do I.
Copycat.
I find, especially as women age into their 40s, perimenopause, menopause, I find that they're doing too much, actually. They need to just be active and walk and strength train.
You said you're doing too much. Too much
In
what?
terms of HIIT training and cardio and very high intensity activity and over exercising and under consuming calories. For example, 1,200 calories a day, which is far too low, which creates, again, another stress response. So the body's going to hold on to fat and you'll either plateau or actually gain weight. So they're doing a lot, but they're actually not reaching their goals and they're frustrated.
So in a sense, maybe they're doing some good things, but then some counterintuitive things that are like...
Well, the right things at the improper intensity.
So you're saying train, but don't overtrain.
Especially if you're already in a stress state.
Can you give some examples of what overtraining versus a good amount of training? Like one example I give is you could do 30 minutes of cardio, but if you're doing 30 minutes of cardio at 4 a.m., I don't know if that's good. If otherwise you would be sleeping. If you're like, that's the only time I have to myself. I'm like, would it be better that you slept?
Well, that depends. We can also check a patient's cortisol curve in the day. And if they're waking up with cortisol too high or bottomed out, it would not be the best time of day, right? It would depend on if they're already tired, sure, they should probably sleep instead. Yes.
Okay.
Depending, yes. And you said give an example. So HIIT training 5 times a week, maybe not the best if someone's stress and cortisol is super high.
Yeah.
But being active.
Be specific.
Being active, I mean, apart from their workouts and apart from their day-to-day occupation.
Gardening.
Walking. So underestimated. So if someone's tracking.
I overestimate it. I'm sorry. I don't like walking. When someone, okay, you're right. But the reason I'm saying is because too many people say, when I ask them, do you exercise? They're like, why walk? I'm like, you don't fly, obviously, so you walk. That's, to me, walking is not exercise unless you're getting like, no, I get 10 to 12,000 steps a day. And I'm like, okay, that's like intentional activity, work.
Right. So committed and part of lifestyle and tracking and working. So let's say someone's only tracking 2,000 steps per day. You can work up to 4,000, eventually 5,000, 7,000.
Doing 2,000 steps a day, someone's carrying them everywhere they go.
What I mean is there has to be a little bit of a gradual increase in part of their lifestyle. And a part in the day, it has to be worked in that they're walking and reaching a substantial goal, like you said. It can't just be...
Yeah, graduating to something that's more significant. Because if you're starting with nothing...
Yes, so slowly.
I say do, laps.
Working up over weeks or months. But it has to be integrated, has to be very consistent. And strength training, to me, is the most important. So walking is in addition to strength training. But what I'm deciphering with the cardio is your heart rate does not have to be highly elevated the entire time. The walking keeps it at a moderate.
So how do they know that they're walking the right intensity or duration?
A moderate amount? Well, you calculate 220 minus their age, and then a moderate amount would be, let's say, 60% of that. But I even go lower, let's say 55, 50, even if it's 100 beats a minute or less. That's okay, as long as they're moving.
So you're saying monitor your heart rate.
It could be a way to either the steps total in a day and or the heart rate.
I just tell people...
As long as the heart rate's not so elevated too often, too high for too long.
You're so technical. I'll be like, you should feel a little sweaty.
Actually, women think they have to be dripping sweat the whole time. That actually could be counterintuitive.
Just a little sweaty. I didn't say dripping blood.
And actually, if someone's very highly stressed, I implement walking for stress relief more so. So you're outdoors, you're in sunshine, you're in nature. It's more of a stress relief.
Yeah, if they live in the jungle. People do their steps either it's dark out or it's raining because we live here and there's only rain.
No, especially in the summer, easier. The winter in
we have
Canada,
2 months summer.
The winter in Canada, maybe a walking pad.
Walking pad. I was just going to say walking pad. You saw my walking pad?
Yes.
Near Mint.
Very convenient.
I've been doing the elliptical, as you can attest.
Yes.
Yes.
It's great.
Yeah. I do half an hour.
Wonderful.
Basic.
As long as we're moving.
Yeah, well, definitely moving. My legs, sometimes my arms.
So implementing it and being consistent, like I said.
Yeah, well, the last couple of days. But.
And again, all other factors have to be accounted for: sleep and adequate nutrition, adequate calories, adequate protein intake to build and maintain muscle mass.
And that's for men and women?
Both, especially, yes. But for women, yes, especially.
Why do you prefer women over men?
I'm a female. I tend to work with females more often, but because the hormonal balance is very different between males and females, and as females reach perimenopause, you have to approach things differently. We always have to be kind and gentle, but approach things differently. So it's not do more, eat less. It's just train smarter, more effectively.
Is it easier for a man to lose weight or a woman?
If they're doing the same program or in general? I can't say that. I would say it's always identifying.
Because usually people say it's so much easier for a man to lose weight.
But then if a woman comes in frustrated, like I treat many patients that are overdoing things, frustrated and not reaching their goals, it's maybe we haven't implemented the correct plan. Once that is implemented, it is quite
Do you find
achievable.
find more women come in overdoing things?
I do over-exercising and under-eating,
Okay.
which they think will help them, but actually works against them.
So that's just like a social bias. So you think like if I eat
Yes.
less, I'll weigh less.
So to change that mindset is takes time.
Mm-hmm. It's a leap of faith.
And actually maybe making goals more realistic instead of wanting to achieve a certain weight. I'll say, what if we reach for this body fat percentage and you'll look the way you want to, but you'll be healthier.
So if
Even if the weight is a little higher because you're all muscle.
If they say I want to fit in my wedding dress, what do you tell them?
I'll say let's track how you feel as you move towards your goal. If your goal is a 40-pound weight loss, let's see how you feel at 20 pounds. Maybe we reassess at that time and see if your goals change at that point. Maybe we make it about body fat percent, not the weight.
Yeah. I mean, with the in-body and our perspective on body composition, we always try to get people to understand you have a number in your head, maybe, let's just say 150. Okay. And we're like, you could be 150, but you're going to be 150 with less muscle mass than your peers and higher body fat. But yeah, you'll be 150.
And you would be tired and weak and perhaps unhealthy. So is that worth?
Yeah. Well, in that, when your body fat's higher and your muscle mass is low, you will always struggle with weight because your muscle mass is like an upgrade on your metabolic rate. The higher your muscle mass, and people think that they lose muscle very quickly. The truth is, if you're able to build muscle, even if you used to exercise 10 years ago, it's still technically there. There's a dormancy to it. It's covered in fat, sure. It's not being used, but I can tell on the in-body, I'll be like, used to work out. And they'll be like, yeah, but a long time ago. I'm like, the muscle is there.
Still there.
It's not muscle memory per se, but I kind of call it that because the body will retain this muscle, and it's like, well, we have it. It's available to you if you choose to use it. And that kind of like kicks in that engine. It starts that fire burning all those calories. And what you'll see is that as you use that muscle, or if you don't have it, you start building that muscle, your body fat and the fat around your organs, your fatty liver, your visceral fat, it starts to come down because it's kind of like a tug of war, muscle and fat.
And the good thing is we can track that with the in-body and show the patient, and we get that feedback. So we understand if the plan is being implemented is successful.
Yeah, and people, they'll come in, like say the second time, and they'll be like, I don't think I lost very much. I'm like, well, it's not necessarily how much. Let's see how it's changed. So they'll get on the scale, and the printout will be like, you lost 2% body fat, and you went up in weight, and you lost 2 pounds. So you gained muscle. You went up. But the body fat.
Or the weight maintained, but they lost body fat.
Or change everything I say, or technically wrong.
No.
I'm going to cut you out of the video.
So it is all about, again, the muscle mass, and it is based mostly on nutrition. Like I said, some patients, without even implementing exercise, their body fat starts going down if the stress hormones are regulated. But again, the exercise is sort of the final piece of the puzzle to get you there, but it's mainly proper nutrition and adequate protein.
Be specific. Yeah, there you go.
Adequate protein intake.
And to add some seasoning on what you're saying, a lot of people have lots of protein. Sometimes it's not even about increasing per meal or 1.5 gallons of protein per pound.
You're going to say utilizing.
The ability to digest, assimilate, digestive enzymes with each meal. You heard it here first. I know Maria is a big digestive enzyme proponent.
I've been taking them for years regularly, yes.
I like the chewable ones. They are the most tasty.
We give them to our kids too. And very effective, very.
And you will see a change. If you,
Yes.
let's say you're training and you have protein and you're not gaining muscle mass, once you add an enzyme, you will have an increase in muscle mass tangibly showing up on your body composition scans. You will feel stronger.
Patients have said that that is the final link, that once they implement the digestive enzyme, they will lose the last 5 to 10 pounds of body fat.
So we talked about protein. We talked about food sensitivity. We talked about activity level.
Stress
Talk
level.
about stress.
But basic, so hydration and proper sleep, and it's all very individual in terms of supplements needed. And
It's
we track
individual, but it's very general as well. Everyone has to sleep.
Well, I mean,
Heard it here first.
yes. So I'm very much about basics and nutrition. That is our food, but symptoms that are experienced are individual. So we have to address those, but those all seem to be eradicated with the proper meal plan.
Now some hot takes. What's the worst food someone can eat?
Oh,
Yeah.
Generally? Oh, you
Yeah.
you know what I'll say. You know.
My mother's cooking.
Your mother's cooking is great. Sugar, 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 sugar. I'm very sugar.
But
Refined.
what's refined sugar? Because I don't eat refined
White
sugar.
sugar. Any sugar added. So our food should 80% of the time be in their whole natural state. One ingredient foods as you would naturally
So
find
sugar
it.
cane.
No, that would feed all the
Okay, but because
unhealthy
people would be
pathways.
like, people say like, "Oh, I don't eat sugar." I'll be like, "Okay," but they will have a glass of wine with French fries. Is that sugar?
Technically, anything.
It's not a
Okay,
good
thank
mix.
you. So anything that breaks down to sugar in the body,
So
but
those have
Well,
they're carbs.
alcohol will break down to sugar. But again, it's about your tolerance. Some people choose to eliminate it completely. Some people minimize it.
I think most people don't understand that a little bit is still sabotaging their results.
Well, it depends. Some people have to be very strict and have none at the beginning or long term based on their symptoms. But yes, anything that can break down to sugar like alcohol, that's included. I'm talking about added sugar that they probably don't realize is added to their foods if they're eating packaged or processed foods.
What would be an
Always
example of that? Besides like desserts that are obvious,
Yeah, any snack bars or
protein bars are probably the best example. Because people think it's like, oh, I had a protein bar. It's like, it's not a brag. It's like a chocolate bar with...
Well, a quick tip for that, if you want to times the protein content by 10, so add a 0. And if it outnumbers the total calories, that's a very high protein food.
You have all these numbers in your head.
So let's say a
Just
cup,
living with you is like living with a calculator.
so a cup of bone broth, let's say it's 40 calories, 10 grams of protein. Add a 0 to that 10, it's 100. It's way higher than 40. That's a very high protein food. Excellent. Wonderful. Have the bone broth as a snack or instead of a protein shake. It's healing to the gut lining, great for immunity.
What if my protein shake is a bone broth?
That's good.
Yeah.
Some collagens
How many
are made out of
multiples
that.
am I getting? I feel like playing
But if something
at a
claims
casino.
to be high protein, a protein bar, and it only has 5 grams, but the total calorie is 350, well, times the 5 grams by 50, that's very low in protein. 50 is much lower than 350.
I know 50 as a number is lower. Just trying to do all the... I feel
we
like
have
I'm
to-
talking in a different language.
I feel that it's a little bit trickier to intake protein, and in the correct amounts, I'll have patients track that for a time, weigh it, make sure, because they'll say, yes, I'm having enough protein, but I'll say, let's weigh it and see, and usually it's too low for what they need for their goals.
Okay. What's the 5 best proteins people should just have?
Oh, but that varies because some people are
5
vegan.
generically. We're not talking to vegans. Vegans don't like
Oh,
me.
no. Don't
I
say
like
that.
them.
We love everyone. Okay.
It's not that I don't like them. Eggs.
It's just
Not
as a
you.
caveat, that's a highly
Caviar.
reactive food. If you can, no, it's a highly reactive food. If you can have eggs are great, especially egg whites. But again, highly reactive on the IgG test. A lot of people react to that.
You know why? Because they lack digestive enzymes. And egg whites, it's always the eggs white that score
yeah.
high,
Yeah.
not the yellow. And the white,
The yellow,
is
the yolk.
What's the white called?
White.
No, you can't do that. You can't say egg whites. Oh, no, that's not just yolk. And what's the white called? This is white.
It's not called yellow. It's called yolk.
Okay, the yolk is the yolk, but what's the white
versus
called?
the egg white. The white
white.
versus the yolk, not white versus yellow.
Called
The yellow part. Okay.
albumin. just albumin.
So yes, eggs, great. Bone broth, I love. If you're someone who's on the go and needs a convenient protein shakes, it has to be a very
on
clean.
the go. Well, like a mailman?
No, just
Male woman.
traveling, working.
Male person. Female
Could
person.
be a very high quality protein powder, but again, that has to be.
That's your second protein powder?
No, I said third. I said
How about chicken?
egg whites, chicken, turkey, fish,
Do you
beef.
like turkey?
I love turkey.
Beef?
Sure, if you can tolerate, and that's part of your.
Well, in terms of food sensitivities, because that's sort of like what we were talking about, animal proteins barely
Hardly.
ever score. They're really almost always nothing.
I will say that
So they're vegans.
I will say that the IgG food sensitivity results usually coincide with the blood type diet, but there's always variation. Every type A will not be exactly the same. So there's variation, but I've seen type A.
I threw up in my mouth.
Blood type A's may react to beef because, again, there's not enough digestive enzyme
I'm type
there.
A.
Not enough digestive enzymes there.
Blood type. What are you?
I have to say it on. Type A's are supposed to be vegan or vegetarian
Yeah, it's not happening.
because
That's why
they don't digest. So hold on, let me explain.
Well, digestive enzymes.
Let me explain. So the personality type of a blood type A person is a type A personality. So they're always on the go and planning and thinking and working. So it's difficult or more challenging for them to switch into the rest and digest mode, the parasympathetic mode. They're in sympathetic mode. They will not easily digest to begin with. So they won't have, you have to be relaxed to produce digestive enzymes. And if your personality type is on the go all the time, that's not as easy.
Well, aren't most people under some type
in
of...
North America, yes. Or yes.
So we're all type A.
Well,
Just don't tell that at the blood donor clinic.
to varying degrees. It depends. Some people are very much able to relax and take time, and some people cannot switch their mind to that.
So is that a blood type thing?
No, and actually that too. So some patients, females in their 40s, will come in and say, my sleep is disrupted, but I will say, perhaps your caloric intake that day was too low, or something you ate 12 hours ago is affecting your insulin and blood sugar levels during the night. Or so let's track what you're eating prior, even the day before, and it could be calories are too low, or the insulin went too high, or something is disrupted. Some sort of hormone is disrupted there, and then also the mind is not calm and relaxed. If that happens, if cortisol is high.
So, if you're not a female, if you're not over 40, Maria's going to leave you to die.
No,
She doesn't care about.
No,
I'll help you.
I work with
children,
teenage girls,
men,
children.
women
all
too.
ages.
I
No.
don't care. You're 39. You're 51. Doesn't matter.
I'm speaking to trends that I've seen. So a lot of teenage girls, again, under eating, and they'll have migraines, and
Why?
because they're not intaking enough calories.
Could it be? Is it type of malnourishment?
Of course, anemia. Yes, they'll have dizziness, fainting.
Yin deficient, as I say in my butchered TCM lingo. They lack progesterone. But they'll be cranky and irritable and probably mouth off to their moms and cry for no reason and then severe cramping.
Well, let's call it severe
My microphone just punched me in the chin.
premenstrual symptoms. So very severe cramping.
But it's very
and pain.
specific to that age group and that constellation of symptoms.
Yes. So being prepared ahead of time, I always help them implement preparing and packing their meals and snacks, and which snacks can they bring and are portable.
How important is eating first thing in the morning?
Oh, that depends on the patient's goals. And so we want insulin to not be spiked constantly. If you're constantly snacking and grazing and raising insulin.
I didn't say that.
So I'm saying if you can have that break and not have insulin spike, then you're able to burn fat.
My
Right?
head's getting hot.
Let's say that.
I guess
people fast.
Yeah, I make them stop. I think fasting is the fastest way to gain fat
If implemented properly,
You're
no.
always technically no. The average person that is intermittent fasting is only saying they're intermittent fasting because they're lazy to make breakfast. Hot take.
I'm talking. So let's say intermittent fasting has to be done
What's
properly.
proper?
So I will say
you have to define proper.
It
I
has
don't mean to be aggressive.
It has to be, especially for females, they may not be able to tolerate with their hormones, especially at different times of their cycle, 16 to 18 hours of fasting. And then we can shift. When are you fasting? What hours? Is it evening, morning? And then you have to make sure that you're intaking enough calories in your eating window. So if you're just not eating, and then when you do eat, you're under eating for the day, that's not going to work. That'll backfire. That'll increase cortisol. But if you're eating enough and taking, and protein, again, content is high, it's done properly, meaning having enough caloric intake in a 24-hour period, that can be very effective, especially for someone who constantly grazes, is never satisfied. They're constantly eating carbs and sugar, and their insulin is remaining.
Well, isn't that because they're not absorbing that protein because they're lacking digestive enzymes?
Or not intaking it. Yes, could be, yes.
I'm a 3 meal a day guy.
That can work.
I'm a 3 meal a day guy. Protein at each meal.
Of course. Of course.
But
At
you
least
gotta-
a gram per body weight of your goal weight.
You're so numbers.
People
more
wanna
like
measure
I'm like
and-
a chunk. I mean, how much protein should you have? I don't know.
People want to measure. Do you want to
a
grab? I brought
piece.
my scale this morning. Do you want?
I would
You have to-
never wait.
Well,
I don't.
just at the beginning to sort of get used to eyeballing. Okay, this is what an actual serving
That's
of
what I
protein
do.
would
Just
look
eyeball
like.
it. I just say, look at your plate, assuming it's a regular plate. Protein should be over here.
A quarter.
Oh, I didn't say that. Then there's going to be vegetables.
Half the plate.
Okay, that's probably more accurate.
1 to 2 cups.
And then maybe a carby something.
And again, that varies.
Doesn't
based
have
on,
to be there. It could be 50-50 protein and veg, especially for dinner.
I would say instead of the carbohydrate, let's say a female has PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Maybe they replace.
They actually just changed the name yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. So it's more technical, but that's fine.
So with
We'll edit it.
they have time. They have a little bit of a challenge regulating their blood sugar, even more so than the average person. Without that, they could probably replace that carbohydrate with healthy fats or avocado, olive oil, nuts or seeds.
You know, when I ask people what kind of healthy fats they have, you know what they always say? Avocado.
Yeah, you don't like that?
No, I think they
Oh.
lie.
Oh,
Do people eat avocado every single day? You ever see people with like 8 pounds of avocados in their grocery? No,
possible, but-
no, they're lying.
it's just
People
educating,
don't.
and
People do. I guess my point is people don't actually know what they're eating.
and that's why I have them track it for a few days so that I have definitive feedback to give them
Evidence.
in terms of
Put their nose
for
in
them.
it.
No, for
Grab
themselves.
them
and
by the
myself.
back of the head
No.
and go, look.
Well, it's very
carbs."
evident at that point, and then it's easy. That is my job, and I love it. I'm passionate about that. We can make little.
If you're a female over
tweaks.
40.
No, we can make little tweaks and easy changes that are implemented and realistic. And
I like giving everyone the
Effective.
same diet.
No.
You're going to eat this.
No.
You're going to eat the Jason diet.
everyone is so unique. We're one of a kind.
I'm unique, so be like me. I lost 15 pounds. It's January.
Good for you. That's great.
You didn't even notice. You're like, did you shave? Fat. It's all those avocados I've been eating behind your back.
No, but weight loss is very much about balance at each stage or phase of your life. So if someone has just had a child versus you're trying to conceive, it's very.
That's all female stuff. I'm trying to, because I think I have to think like a man because, yeah, I am. And a lot of my patients are men. So they're like, I'm going to have a beer when I get home. They're like, no, you're not.
That's a learned habit. That's a way to relax. So yes, we can replace that with a healthier option. A lot of men,
What would be a healthier option than a beer?
So beer to me is signaling that they want to take a break. It's relaxing. It's a sedative, correct? So anything that's
I don't know. I don't drink beer.
alcohol in general is
Yeah.
sedating.
Pretend it's wine.
Same thing, same
You
idea.
look forward to it because you had a long day.
So the body's
you're
looking for a
stressed out,
reward.
and you're angry.
But a reward doesn't have to be a food or liquid. It could be, let's see, going for a walk, listening to music, listening to a podcast, reading a book, watching a comedy, speaking to a loved one.
That's not really
having
relaxing.
a cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
Something relaxing, a bubble bath.
Cup of coffee. Double espresso before bed.
Maybe
I
not.
need to relax.
But even the coffee is signaling to the person this is a break.
Yeah.
It's the break they're looking.
Put the brakes on.
They're looking for that that it's okay for me to stop right now.
It's a finish line.
Break.
It's a checkpoint.
Yes, but you can have a herbal tea instead of coffee. Or even green tea would be better than
Protein bar.
Coffee.
If you multiply by 10. I don't know what she's talking about. You just start you have to think with all the numbers across doing all these calculations.
No, if just add a 0. And that number should be higher than the total calories. That's it. Add a 0 to the protein.
What?
Add a 0 to the protein content. And that number should be higher than the total calories of that food.
Okay, so if a protein bar has 10 grams of protein and you multiply by 10, so now it's 100,
Yes, you added a
it
0.
should be higher than the total calories of that bar.
To
Good luck.
give evidence that it's a high protein meal, if that's what they're advertising. Otherwise, it's probably mostly
Is there
sugar.
an easier way of saying it? Just
Add a 0.
Just don't eat it.
Add a 0. Well, it should be clean and unrefined. You can make your own at home with almond flour and things like that. You can make your own.
It's going to get stuck in my throat. 3 days later.
No,
I
we had
know.
great ones.
Are you okay? I'm like, just peanut butter, almond flour.
No peanut butter.
Cementing down my gullet.
No. There are many options. It's just being educated and
Eggs,
prepared.
chicken, and people don't even like chicken. Now everything is red meat.
Turkey, beef,
Eggs, freaking beef,
turkey.
lion, elk, buffalo,
Bone broth.
bones,
Fish.
fish bones.
Again, everything
mackerel. My friend told me about the mackerel diet. Or was it sardine diet?
3 cans of sardine per day for 3 days to go into the ketosis. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go into the washroom.
Again, so that is all about not having sugar or foods that break down to sugar. I'm very passionate about not including too much sugar. That to me is it lends to a lot of different health conditions.
I got to go.
Thank you. This was great.
Are you happy you did this? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I really, really don't want to do this. I'm like, you got to give the people what they want. We'll do another one because I feel like this was very educational, especially if you're a female over 40 or an 18-year-old.
I like to track numbers. It's all good.
I like to track numbers. Thank you, Dustin Hoffman. I didn't call you Rain Man.
Thank you.